Next is item 2.1, approval of minutes of February the 5th.
Approval of minutes of February the 5th. I have the Deputy and Councillor Radwan on the question. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Next item.
Next is approval of the agenda. There are a few additions from Committee of the Whole and also a request to move forward item 10.6, street closing Retail Drive, third reading, up on the agenda. The additions from Committee of the Whole would be 17.1, lease to Rock Solid Ventures, 17.2, conditional agreement, 26 to 28 Retail Drive, 17.3, divestment of 4 city-owned properties, and 17.4, city market lease with Wild Carrot.
Okay, so I'll take a motion to, the Deputy and Councillor Hickey on the question. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Next item.
Disclosures of conflict of interest, if there are any.
Councillor Radwan.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to declare conflicts on 10.6 and 17.2 Retail Drive.
10.6 and 17.2. And Councillor Stewart? Same thing, 10.6 and 17.2. Okay. Moving on. Next item.
Thank you, Your Worship. So now, if we have moved forward item 10.6, and that's street closing bylaw Retail Drive, third reading.
Okay, so I'm doing on 10.6. It's moving up, and I'm sending that over to. Who am I sending that over to? 10.6. Oh, sorry. General Counsel, sorry, over to you.
Thank you, Your Worship. Good evening, members of council. Before you for third reading this evening is a bylaw amendment to the street closing bylaw related to the closure of a portion of Retail Drive. The public hearing for this bylaw amendment, you'll recall, was held June 12th, 2023, following which council gave first and second reading to the bylaw amendment. The third reading of the amendment was held in abeyance as the parties, or as the city staff, advance a project that would see Retail Drive being realigned. The wording of the amendment before you this evening, however, I wanted to point out, varies slightly from the version to which you gave first and second reading, in that it has been modified in compliance with the LGA, the Local Governance Act, to include subsection 9.2, which stipulates that the amendment will come into force on a date to be set by resolution of council. So in other words, it doesn't come into force this evening. The amendment will be passed this evening, but it'll come into force at a date that you will set by resolution at a future date. This will enable the project to move forward while ensuring that the traveling public may continue to use the existing Retail Drive until the realigned street is completed and open to the public. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. City Clerk, over to you for the motions required.
Thank you, Your Worship. In this case, just 2 motions required: approval of reading by its entirety and then approval of reading by title.
Okay, so I'll take a motion to approve reading by entirety. Councillor Sullivan and the Deputy on the question. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
This bylaw is entitled "A Bylaw Respecting the Closing of Roads, Streets, or Highways in the City of St. John." Be it enacted by Common Council of the City of St. John as follows. A bylaw of the City of St. John entitled "A Bylaw Respecting the Closing of Roads, Streets, or Highways in the City of St. John," enacted on the 11th day of March 2019, is hereby amended by adding thereto Section 9 immediately after Section 8 as follows. 9.1. The City of St. John does hereby stop up and close permanently the following street: Retail Drive. All those portions of Retail Drive, a public street in the City of St. John, in the County of St. John, in the Province of New Brunswick, comprising 2 portions of Retail Drive, being Part A, having an area of 3,165 square meters, and Part B, having an area of 116 square meters, as shown on a plan of survey titled "Showing Portions of Retail Drives, Parts A and B, City of St. John County, New Brunswick, prepared by Don Moore Survey and Engineering Limited and dated May 15, 2023. Attached here too. And 9.2, Section 9.1 shall come into force on a date to be set by the resolution of council.
Thank you. And I'll need a motion to approve reading by title. Councillor Ogden and the Deputy on the question. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
a bylaw respecting the closing of roads, streets, or highways in the city of St. John.
Thank you. Okay, I am going to exit stage left right now, and I'm going to ask the deputy to take over the chair for me. Yep, all good there. All right, thank you, John.
Okay, Common Clerk, next item, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Next is the consent agenda, item 5.
Over to you, Councillor Sullivan.
Thanks, Deputy. I'd move items 5.1 through 5.8 inclusive.
You have a seconder, Councillor Stewart. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Oh, on the question? I'm sorry. Councillor Redmond?
Thank you, Deputy. Just a question to Commissioner Hossack. Just wondering if the diversity, equity, inclusion policy statement, which is 5.3, is going to be sent to all the ABCs.
Stephanie Hossack? Commissioner Hossack?
Through you, Deputy, to the councillor. We haven't discussed this yet, but I assume once it is drafted and finalized, we would share with the ABCs for their consideration as well.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so on the question, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, if any. Motion's carried. Next item, Common Clerk.
Next item is item 6, members' comments.
Members' comments. Okay, 2-minute round, starting off with Councillor Ogden.
Just like to remind everybody that coldest night of the year is Saturday night, where people walk, starting I think at Market Square around 4, raising money for our shelters. And the other one is at 6 o'clock, again in that area in front of City Hall. Ukrainian Association of St. John is going to have a very quiet, peaceful vigil, as they did last year, to commemorate or to support their Ukrainian brethren in Ukraine. And it's the second time in this last century that Ukraine has been invaded by a Russian dictator who doesn't believe in the rule of law. And millions of Ukrainians died because of that. And one of the reasons the Russians give, of course, is that they're an older civilization, but Kyiv is 500 years older than Moscow. So last year it was extremely peaceful and quiet, but very memorable. And this year it's 2 years since the invasion of Ukraine by a Russian dictator again. So I hope that people can come out for both of those two great causes. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Sullivan.
Thanks, Deputy. St. John, one of the things I love about St. John is just how we support each other. You know, I was happy to be part of a curling bonspiel in support of Rockmora Nursing Home with a whole bunch of people who were just happy to raise money, most of which were learning the game of curling. It was fantastic to have a lot of fun and raise money for Rockmora. Followed that by joining certainly Councillor Killen, Hickey, Radwin, I think Deputy, you were there. And I think Councillor Lowe as well at the dinner for Bobby's Hospice. Certainly another packed house. And as much a tribute to St. John supporting Bobby's Hospice and, you know, our own Energizer bunny, Shirley McAlery, who made it all happen. So fantastic there. My family went out to enjoy Congratulations to Interaction School of Performing Arts this past weekend. Their young person's advanced performing company put on the Lightning Thief musical at the Imperial Theater, another fantastic show. And finally, a bit of advertising for the St. Patrick's Society. Last year, the St. Patrick's Society had a conversation about whether the St. Patrick's Society should exist or not. You know, after COVID and changes in where were we in the modern age. And we said it's incredibly important for those of Irish heritage in St. John to remember our Irish heritage in St. John. But one of the things we did last year was we said, you know, we need to stop just having men at the dinner. And so for the first time, my whole family, I got to be there with my wife, who really is an Irish Colleen Sullivan, my son, who's been talking about going to dinners with me forever, and just as importantly, my little red-haired daughter, whose goal is to be the first female president of the St. Patrick's Society. So the society is changing. The other piece we decided to do last year, we used to support the Belfast Children's Exchange program, which doesn't exist anymore. So part of the conversation we had last year was, as a St. Patrick's Society, who should we be supporting and what can we do to support St. Johners? And really, St. John hasn't changed. We still are accepting and supporting newcomers. At one point in time, those of us of Irish heritage, our ancestors were the newcomers to St. John. And so what the society has decided is the proceeds from the dinner this year will go to the St. John Newcomer Center. It makes the most sense for us who are Irish and now have come along in St. John to support those who are coming to St. John now. The dinner is March 14th this year, and Marika Block, former president of the Canadian Irish Cultural Society in St. John and former principal at St. John High School, will be our guest speaker to remind us all of our Irish heritage and connections that still continue. If you're interested in tickets, you can reach out to me and I'll put you in contact. Thanks, Deputy.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Radwan?
Thank you, Deputy. So first of all, I just want to mention that our police seem to be looking for some folks, or one folk, or many folks, I don't know, but they have a video posted on their webpage. Unfortunately, there was a repulsive act that happened where a fire was set at an encampment. So if you have any information, please reach out to the police at 648 3333. Thank you so much to police and fire that were fantastic at the site. And this is Black History Month, so I just wanted to do a quick little feature of Viola Desmond. She was actually a female entrepreneur that was from Halifax, and when she traveled to a small town, she ended up going to the cinema. When she got into the cinema and sat down on the main floor, she was escorted out. So she went to the box office and they told her that, quote unquote, we can't sell main floor tickets to you people. So even though she said she was able to pay the 1 cent extra, she was actually taken to jail and charged for not paying the tax, which was the 1 cent that she was able to pay. She later was pardoned after she died, but she definitely paved the way for Black women in Canada. And you can see her face on our $10 bill. So it's just very important that we have a very inclusive community, and we don't need to have any situations like that going forward.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Hickey, you can wrap us up.
Thanks very much, Deputy. I just wanted to give a shout out to the folks at Around the Block. After nearly 2 decades, their newspaper circulation is coming to an end. Specifically Lorna Brown, Juanita Black, Randy Hatfield, Mary Lesage, plenty of other people that made this paper happen and really drew attention to our priority neighborhoods and connected them, as well as told stories. And I would suggest at a time when our neighborhoods need more support than ever, let's make sure that with the loss of the paper, we don't lose sight of whether it's the people, the organizations, or the stories that are really telling and defining our neighborhoods. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor. Just to piggyback on that, it was, I think, in publication for 16 years or something. It was a very, very valuable tool. But like everything else, everything has a expiration date, and newspapers are, with the electronic mode now, it's hard to compete. So we do thank them all, and I know that they will be taking on another initiative with the Human Development Council to benefit the priority neighborhoods with the funding that we gave them for the newspaper. So it's a win-win. Okay, thank you. Next item, Common Clerk, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Next, we would have to move to our public hearing, which is item 9.1, as this is advertised for 6:30 tonight. And 9.1 is a public hearing for street closure for portions of Redhead and Hewitt Road.
Oh, Curtis. Okay, Curtis, you want to?
Good evening, Deputy, members of Council.
This is, I'm just exiting out of here, sorry, just one second. This is a public hearing to consider the stop-up enclosure and subsequent sale of two portions of street right-of-way. A 1,441 square meter portion of Redhead Road and the other portion being 695 square meters of Hewitt Road, for the purposes of consolidating it with an adjoining residential property at 1530 Redhead Road. These two areas are landscaped and serve no benefit to the developed portions of the two streets. They are essentially remnant sections of the right-of-way when Redhead Secondary Access Road was reconfigured with Hewitt coming down. The owners, if these two pieces of right-of-way are stopped up and closed, they are looking to acquire them, which has already been previously determined. The map up there, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. There have been some questions from some of the neighboring property owners. I believe there were 2 letters received voicing concern, and also the proponent submitted a letter as well. This sketch here that you're looking at on the screen was prepared by staff after the public notices were put on the City's St. John website. This more clearly depicts the area to be considered for street closure. As you can see, the area is predominantly the portion of Redhead Road that used to run straight through before Hewitt Road was brought into the mix. So all of the area considered for closure is deemed to be landscaped area and not essential for the continued operation of the two streets. The adjoining property to the south, I went on a site visit to meet with them. They had concerns about if the ditch that runs along the undeveloped portion of Redhead were to be filled in, they had concerns about surface water runoff. So I attempted to address their concerns and indicated that if any intention was to fill in that former ditch, it would require development approval for excavation exceeding 1 meter. So I've spoke to a number of other residents in the area on the phone, and I believe I've answered their concerns and questions regarding this proposed hearing this evening.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nangel. I see no questions. So we'll open the public hearing now. And I'd call for anybody who would be against this proposal to step forward. Second call for anyone who's against the proposal to step forward. The third time, anybody against this proposal, step forward. No? Okay. I would ask then if there's anybody here to speak in favor of the proposal, if they could step forward. Second time, anybody in favor of the proposal? And third and final time, anybody in favor of the proposal? Seeing none, I guess we close the public hearing. So the motions that we need? Oh, yeah. Is there any questions for staff before we proceed? No? Okay. All right, so with that, I'll call the common clerk for the motion.
Thank you. Only 2 motions required here. Approve first reading by title and approve second reading by title.
Okay, I ask for a motion. Councillor Radwan and Councillor Sullivan. On the question, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, if any. Motion's carried.
A bylaw respecting the closing of roads, streets, or highways in the city of St. John.
Next motion.
And approve second reading by title is the second
And
motion.
I'll take a motion for the second reading. Councillor Lowe and Councillor Norton. On the question, all in favor? Opposed, if any? Motion's carried. Thank you.
A bylaw respecting the closing of roads, streets, or highways in the city of St. John.
Okay, next item, common clerk.
Next, and we had skipped our presentation, so for item 8.1 on the agenda, we have a presentation entitled Empowering Women in Business, and Executive Director Daniel Meza is here tonight to present.
Okay, step forward. And welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity to share with you Empowering Women in Business St. John. My name is Tania Valbuena, and with Daniel Meza, we are leading a Dragonfly event agency. We are based here in St. John. We are a New Brunswick company, and we want to bring value of this community. It's coming the International Women's Day in March. That's why women like me, like us, deserve this opportunity to grow together. Empowering Women in Business is a 2-day conference with keynote speakers from different parts of Canada, with new networking opportunities, with breakout sessions, a musical performance, vendor opportunities, and of course, award ceremony, because we have a lot of women that deserve and knowledge about their job here. Our numbers are, we're expecting as an attendance 300 women here in the Market Square. We have more than 30 female speakers, moderators, and community members. We have now 62 deserving women nominees for 6 different award categories. We are a staff of only 4 members with 20 volunteers in operations. We are right now, but we are expecting more, of course, 13 sponsors and partners that they are involved. We have, as I mentioned, 6 awards, and we are working with more than 5 ethnocultural associations in this project. Empowering Women in Business aims to create a dynamic platform for women in business to unite, inspire one another, and explore the latest trends and topics crucial for the business growth. This 2-day conference offers education, connection, and awards in collaboration with organizations that share a common vision of supporting women in business. We need more of these opportunities, and we want to offer here in St. John as a point of a start on more hubs like this. We are with the Government of Canada laws and, of course, the global goals, especially for the gender equality. The benefits for attendees will empower and educate, offer networking and collaboration, important for this small city with big heart, showcase local talent, promote diversity and inclusion, inspire entrepreneurship, bring in knowledge exchange and collaboration, and of course, something that we need, promote economic growth. These are our target: female entrepreneur, business owner, and businesswoman leader. Our 2 full Saturdays of Women in Business have different activities. We will start with opening remarks. We will have 4 keynote speakers, 2 every day. We have panels and breakout sessions with different important topics. We will having a musical performance, the local artist. We will have our awards, and of course, as a plus, vendor opportunity, technology corner, and interview corner. Our theme for this year, because we are starting here, but the idea is having once per year this opportunity, all the actual organization, network, or association that are working with women have the opportunity to share the knowledge, experiences, and work together. As a woman, we know as well that we live different than the men. That's why our theme is love, diversity, empathy, and action. We are leading with these values. I want that Daniel help me to tell you what are the guest speakers and the people involved in this moment.
Thank you very much, Tania. My name is Daniel Mesa. Together we are working on this conference. So among our guests, we are having in the opening remarks Lieutenant Governor Brenda Murphy. Also, we are having Sherry Wilson, Minister responsible for women's equality. The mayor is going to be as well, giving the opening remarks, and also Council Paula Radwin. And we are having two MCs at this point confirmed, Julia Wright from the CBC and Jennifer Watchus from the city. So this is very special. Our main keynote speaker, it's a great figure, not only in Canada, but in the world too. She's one of the biggest advocates for accessibility, and she's a women in business, Mayan Sif. So remember this name. She's one of the top 100 most powerful women in Canada. And also, she is on the ranking of 35 innovators under 35 from the MIT. So she's going to be coming here to St. John from Toronto. And yeah, she's got a great message about accessibility to say here. So we have as a second keynote speaker, another great profile. She is a local leader, Olaitan Onyebua. She is one of the top 100 Black women to watch in Canada. And she founded an association named the Black Business and Professional Network, a very strong association here in St. John. Also representing local women, we have Hailey Bohan, great professional in marketing, an expert in marketing, I would say. She's helped over 100 women in business to develop their own business, their brands and stories. And we're having someone coming from Fredericton, representing, another diverse community, Shadra Ramadan. She is manager at the MBMC, another great profile for this conference. And also we're going to have a musical performance, local artist named Hilary Ladd. I'm sure many of you have heard about her. So quickly going on the topics that we're going to be covering here. We're going to be discussing a few topics recommended for our three different groups. Female entrepreneurs. We're going to be discussing, strategies for entrepreneurship in the St. John region. Also, we're going to have a breakout session on marketing and branding for women in business. Very important topics for entrepreneurs. And there will be a breakout session, a panel session, exploring opportunities for funding for women in New Brunswick. Another interesting topic that is going to be discussed here is the women leaders in the arts and culture businesses. And then we have a second set of topics recommended for business owners. An interesting panel from a macro perspective is going to focus on discussing challenging times. 2024 is a year of economic recession, so we're going to have 4 strong leaders talking about this and how to handle a difficult year. We're going to have a mini workshop in sales, which is very important for any women in business. Sales, of course, financial literacy skills, and a good one, digital transformation and AI in business. And then the last set of topics for women in leadership, we're discussing driving diversity and inclusion in the workplace. And also we're talking about a journey in inclusive leadership. So 3 important profiles here, sharing their experience. And also we'll be discussing sustainability and corporate responsibility. So very, very important topics that women in business in St. John, they will have the opportunity to discuss. Also, there's a last panel discussing leadership in the non-for-profit world. So Tanya mentioned about the business awards that we are having. So we have 6 awards, 6 sponsors, as you can see, the BDC of Canada, Connection Works, the St. John New Commerce Center, you were mentioning that, Opportunities New Brunswick, Glasgow, and Station are the partners that have joined to the team to sponsor these awards. One of them is a Women Entrepreneur Award, the second one, Young Woman Entrepreneur Award, the Newcomer Entrepreneur Award. There's, I would say, the kind of Pinnacle Award, Sustained Excellence Award for people that have shown, sustained success in time. And then there's 2 additional awards, the Women Leader Award for women that are not owners, but they have a strong leadership in their own businesses. And then the Empower Her Award offered to women that support other women to shine. So there has been 62 nominees in St. John for these awards, which is a great, I think it's always great news for, showcasing talent here, in terms of women in business. We've mentioned that we are expecting 300 attendees. And I just wanted to acknowledge here the work, the volunteer work, of 4 great women in business involved in the advisory committee, Tanya, Heather Acker, Rufina, and Dalia Das, and also 3 great women with a lot of experience here involved in the awards committee, MBA director, UMB's MBA director, Shelley Reinhardt, Bernadette Fernandez, another strong woman here, Eleanor Austin. The 3 of them, a lot of years of experience, very awarded. They had many great discussions on the decision for the awards. So this is our executive team, and this is the logistics committee. You can see some of the women, young leaders involved in this. Margarita is here, hello. And Dima as well, helping with the audio visual. So I just wanted to acknowledge organizations involved here in different capacities. Right, so in the left side you have the partners, the ones that we've been collaborating with, and then on the other side the sponsors, just to have an overview of them. We've received a lot of support. I just wanted to finish this presentation with a call to action to all of you, because we really believe in this. We believe in empowering women in business. We believe in the values that this conference is bringing to St. John. And your slogan says, this is a small city with a big heart. Okay, Dragonfly Events. I'm sure you understand this is a small team, but with a very mighty mission to be a platform for women in business to learn, connect, and discover tools to reach their full potential.
That's why if you know and deserving women who could be benefit for this conference, please get them a ticket. Sponsor 10 tickets for a woman from underrepresented local community in St. John can open the door for more opportunities for those who really need this opportunity to grow together. This city needs a change, and I believe with this kind of projects, we're stepping in that pathway.
Wow, that's impressive.
Be on board.
Thank
you so much.
Very impressive. Do we have some comments? Barry, Councilor Ogden?
When I first met you and you told me you wanted to come to St. John and all those, I'm glad that's really worked out. This is a great presentation. As a teacher, which Councillor Sullivan and Councillor Norton are too, we spend our lives trying to empower children, both male and female. And I think empowerment for all citizens would alleviate poverty and everything else. So I just want to congratulate you. This is fabulous. Empowerment is certainly the way to go. Thank you.
Yeah, Councillor Radwan.
Thank you, Deputy. Thank you for your presentation. It was lovely. I'm just wondering if you would mind sharing, Tanya, with Council, why did you, decide to open business in St. John, and how have things been so far?
I can ask that question because when I came here 2 years ago, looking for opportunities to find, of course, professional opportunities, we saw the opportunity to bring our talent, but also our experience in previous businesses in our home country. And we find this is a city that would have a full of potential for people like us because we bring this kind of idea. If we find community members like you that really heard this kind of idea and they say, we can support you. But not only with, the staff, with advice, with volunteer work, like the committee members, and as well, that kind of belief in the new talent that is coming is really important because open the door. If you continue bringing this opportunity for people like us, that we came with a lot of experience and we want to bring this opportunity here, we believe that this city can be point of contact on more people see New Brunswick as I was in the past, that this St. John was the beginning of many things in Canada can be again, because we are a port, but also we are coming more. Ideas can be also export and import. Continue supporting these kind of projects if we want to grow together. But that's why.
Thank you. I
Excellent.
wish you lots of success.
Okay, well, listen, you guys got a dynamic plan here, that's for sure. Some really great keynote speakers and some dynamic, courses that you're offering. So I'm sure that you're going to get a full room for sure. So thank you very much for coming in and telling us about it. And we look forward to it. Thank you.
Can I say something else?
Yes, Daniel.
Sure. I just wanted to say thank you for giving us the opportunity to present here. So as Councillor Gary Sullivan mentioned, I really appreciate all the activities you're doing for fundraising for different communities and the support to the St. John Newcomer Center, which is another partner of this conference. So we've been partnering with the Community Foundation and Glass Sky. So they offer the funds they have to support the community for getting some tickets for, low-income people in St. John or, some people, deserving women in business that are facing financial challenge or, people that would be potentially interested in this conference and having the opportunity, the educational opportunity, the inspirational opportunity to attend this in this today, this today conference. So yeah, that's a good idea. So if you want to use that, we're very happy to, provide all the, mechanisms and, to get all these tickets to the right people and we are ready to do many things together. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Excellent.
Absolutely.
Okay, next item, Common Clerk.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Next on the agenda is under the consideration of bylaws portion, 10.1 on your agenda, and it's a public presentation for a proposed municipal plan amendment at 901 Foster Thurston Drive.
Okay, over to you, Commissioner.
Yes, thank you, Deputy and members of council. For council's information, a public presentation is a procedural requirement under the Provincial Community Planning Act for municipal plan amendment applications. This evening's public presentation commences a 30-day public review period during which members of the public may provide written submissions on the application as an early step in the process. Any submissions received will come back to council following the close of the 30-day public review period for consideration before moving forward in the process. Following the 30-day public review period, it's anticipated that on April 2nd, Common Council will refer the application to the Planning Advisory Committee for review and recommendation. Given this, the application is tentatively scheduled for the May 21st Planning Advisory Committee meeting and at the Common Council meeting of June 10th for the public hearing. With that as an introduction, I will now read into the public record a copy of the public notice that commences the 30-day public review period. And it should be on the screen, the location of the subject property, which I believe Mark Reed is putting up for me. But I'll go ahead. Public notice is hereby, excuse me, public notice is hereby given that the Common Council of the City of St. John intends to consider an amendment to the municipal development plan that would, 1, redesignate on Schedule A of the municipal development plan land having an approximate area of 7.93 hectares located at 901 Foster Thurston Drive, also identified as PID 55242945, from park and natural area outside of the primary development area to park and natural area within the primary development area as illustrated. And 2, redesignate on Schedule B of the municipal development plan land having an approximate area of 7.93 hectares located at 901 Foster Thurston Drive, also identified as PID 55242945, from park and natural area outside of the primary development area to park and natural area within the primary development area, as illustrated below. The reason for the change is to include the site within the primary development area to allow for the site to be serviced with municipal services. Written objections to the proposed amendment may be made to council by March 21st, and inquiries may be made to the office of the city clerk or Growth and Community Services in City Hall between 8:30 and 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday. And that is everything for me. Thank you, Deputy.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. The next item, Counselor.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is item 10.2. This is a traffic bylaw amendment report with attached bylaw for Sydney Street.
Okay, over to you, Mr. Riley.
Good evening, Deputy and members of council. This evening is another important milestone for us as we continue to provide more options for our community to get around using active forms of transportation. Our transportation plan, MoveSJ, envisions connected pedestrian and cycling facilities installed in strategic locations around our city. Both MoveSJ and the city's Central Peninsula Secondary Plan envision a north to south cycling arterial through the South Central Peninsula that connects to Harbor Passage and then to other parts of our community. If you recall, Council recently endorsed changes to the city's traffic bylaw that will support a continuous north to south bike lane along Charlotte Street as that street goes through reconstruction. A complementary continuous south to north bike lane is planned for Sydney Street as that street is reconstructed over the coming years. In order to support this bike lane on Sydney Street and the reconstruction plans for the street in a more inclusive way, on-street parking must be limited to just one side of the street. Council's endorsement of staff's recommendation with our report would allow first and second readings of the city's traffic bylaw amendment to support these on-street parking changes. I do note that with these recommendations, there will be no impact to the number of on-street parking spaces provided on Sydney Street. It's simply moving it all to one side of the street to permit that bike lane. So, Deputy, subject to questions, I'll turn it back over to the chair for the required readings of the bylaw amendment.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Any questions for staff on this? No? Oh, Councillor Hickey, go ahead.
Thanks very much, Deputy. Through you to Director O'Reilly. Thanks very much, Tim. Very excited for this. Another good addition to the Central Peninsula and improves our accessibility for all the reasons listed. I wonder if there's any way, it's a kind of a small question, but if there's any way we can try and include more renderings and stuff like that in this, because this is a great one to be able to push out and get people excited about active transportation, in particular in the Central Peninsula and its accessibility. So if those are things we can or include, or if we have them, and pass them over to us and to our comms team to be able to share that content, the more we can get people excited about these initiatives, the better, I think. And it shows pretty clearly that we're taking some big action on active transportation.
Yeah, perhaps to that point, Councillor, we'll be coming back to council in the near term with the third final phase of Move SJ. And maybe we'll provide some highlights as part of that communication to council to highlight the changes on both Charlotte Street and Sydney Street.
Excellent. Thank you. So I guess now we'll take a motion for first reading.
That's correct, Deputy Mayor. There's two motions needed, first and second reading.
Okay, could I get a motion for first reading, please? Councillor Stewart and Councillor Norton on the question. All in favor? Okay.
A bylaw to amend a bylaw respecting the traffic on streets in the city of St. John and amendments thereto.
Okay, and for second reading, Councillor Lowe, Councillor Sullivan. On the question, all in favor? Signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, that's carried. Second reading.
A bylaw to amend a bylaw respecting the traffic on streets in the city of St. John and amendments thereto.
Thank you. Next item, Common Clerk.
Item 10.3 on your agenda is municipal plan and zoning bylaw amendment with section 59 conditions for property at 1440 Loch Lomond Road.
Okay, over to you, Amy, or Commissioner?
Thank you, Deputy. Deputy and members of council, before you for third reading this evening is an application for municipal plan amendment and rezoning application that was submitted by Eric DeYoung of Slopeside Holdings, Inc. for the properties located at 1440 Loch Lomond Road. The application is seeking to amend the municipal plan and to rezone the properties to permit the development of a multi-building residential development. The application received first and second reading on February 5th, following the required public hearing, and I can confirm that all legislative requirements of the Community Planning Act have been met, and the item is now before you to move forward with third reading.
Okay, thank you. So, did Councillor Ogden miss the last? Okay, all right. So I guess we've got enough anyway. So I'll call for the motion, or Councillor Sullivan and Councillor Norton, all in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. Next item, Common Clerk.
My apology, Deputy, the motion on that one was?
Third reading.
Okay, yeah, this one requires 7 motions.
A second one.
For
Okay.
approval. Yeah, so the 7 separate motions, I think this might be the record, Deputy Mayor.
Okay.
So
Surprise,
because it's
surprise.
both a municipal plan and a zoning bylaw amendment, so I would assume the first motion that was passed was to approve the third reading in entirety for the municipal plan amendment?
Yes.
Okay. And so I will read that one out. This is entitled "A Law to Amend the Municipal Plan Bylaw." The Municipal Plan Bylaw of the City of St. John, enacted on the 30th day of January 2012, is amended by amending Schedule A, city structure, by redesignating parcel of land with an area of approximately 3.68 hectares located at 1440 Loch Lomond Road, also identified as PID 55094981, from urban reserve to stable area classification. Number 2, amending Schedule B, future land use, by redesignating a parcel of land with an area of approximately 3.68 hectares located at 1440 Loch Lomond Road, also identified as PID 55094981, from urban reserve to stable residential. Now we would require a reading by title under the municipal plan.
Okay, could I get a motion for reading by title? Councillor Sullivan, Councillor Stewart, on the question. All in favor? Carried.
A law to amend the municipal plan bylaw. And so now 3 motions are required under the zoning amendment. So the first would be approve the reading by its entirety under the zoning bylaw.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve? Councillor Sullivan and Councillor Stewart, on the question, all in favor? Opposed, if any? Motion's carried.
A law to amend the zoning bylaw of the City of St. John. The zoning bylaw of the City of St. John, enacted on December on the 15th day of December 2014 as amended by rezoning a parcel of land having an area of approximately 3.68 hectares located at 1440 Loch Lomond Road, also identified as PID 55094981, from future development to mid-rise residential. And number 2, rezoning a parcel of land having an area of approximately 6.42 hectares located at 1440 Loch Lomond Road, also identified as a portion of PID 00313031, from 2-unit residential to mid-rise residential pursuant to a resolution adopted by council under Section 59 of the Community Planning Act. And so now we would require a motion to approve Section 59 conditions.
Okay, Councillor Hickey and Councillor Norton on the question. All in favor? Okay, that's approved.
Next, we require approval of third reading by title.
You get a motion for third reading by title. Councillor Radwan, Councillor Sullivan on the question. All in favor? It's approved.
A law to amend the zoning bylaw of the City of St. John. Next would be a motion for the assent to one or more subdivision plans.
Okay, can I get a motion for assent? Councillor Sullivan and Councillor Radwan on the question. All in favor? Okay, that's passed.
And the final one is to accept money in lieu of land for public purposes.
Okay, a motion for money in lieu. Councillor Radwan, Councillor Norton, all in favor? Against? That one's passed as well, unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. Ladies. Okay, next item, comment.
Next is 10.4, a zoning bylaw amendment with Section 59 conditions for 172 City Line.
Okay, that's over to Councillor Father, or Councillor. Commissioner Father.
Thank you. Good evening, Deputy and members of council. Before you for third reading is an application for a rezoning and Section 59 application that was submitted by Eric DeYoung of City Line Holdings Limited for the property located at 172 City Line. The application is seeking to rescind existing Section 59 conditions and rezone the property to enable the conversion of a former school site into a multi-unit, multi-building residential project. The application received first and second reading on February 5th. Following the required public hearing, I can now confirm that all legislated requirements of the Community Planning Act have been met, and the item is now before you to move forward with third reading.
Over to you, Councillor.
Thank you. In this case, we require 4 motions, and the first is to approve the reading by its entirety.
Okay, can I get approval? Councillor Norton, Councillor Sullivan on the question. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion's carried.
A law to amend the zoning bylaw of the City of St. John. The zoning bylaw of the City of St. John enacted on the 15th day of December 2014 is amended by amending Schedule A, the zoning map of the City of St. John, by rezoning a parcel of land having an area of approximately 6,174 square meters located at 172 City Line, also identified as PIDs 00365247, 00364877, 55087175, 55087183, and 55087191 from integrated development to mid-rise residential pursuant to a resolution adopted by Common Council under Section 59 of the Community Planning Act. And now we require a motion for a rescission of the previous Section 59 conditions.
Okay, the motion for that, 59 conditions, Councillor Sullivan, Councillor Lowe on the question. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Motion's carried, unanimous.
Now, next is a motion to approve the new Section 59 conditions.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the new Section 59? Councillor Hickey and Councillor Ogden. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, if any? Motion's carried unanimously.
And finally, approval of third reading by title.
Can I get a motion to approve by third reading by title? Councillor Stewart, Councillor Norton on the question. All in favor? Approved unanimously. Thank you.
Next item is 10.5, and this is a vehicle for hire bylaw amendment, third reading.
Okay, Director O'Reilly, I think we're going to you.
Good evening again, Deputy Mayor and members of council. Before this evening is a third reading of amendment to the vehicle for hire bylaw that would change the maximum allowable age of a vehicle from 8 years to 10 years. This was recommended by the Transit Commission as a result of a submission from the industry reflecting the challenges in the market currently for both new and used vehicles. The first and second reading was considered at the February 5th meeting of council. Subject to your questions, I'll turn it back over to the chair for the required readings.
Okay. Over to you, Common Clerk.
Only two motions required here, approval of third reading in entirety and approval of third reading by title.
Okay, can I get a motion, Councillor Lowe? Is that, you're moving that? Okay, and Councillor Norton? Okay, on the question then, all in favor? Opposed, if any? Motion's carried unanimously.
A bylaw to amend a bylaw respecting the regulation and licensing of owners and operators of vehicle for hire in the City of St. John. A bylaw, the City of St. John entitled A Bylaw Respecting the Regulation and Licensing of Owners and Operators of Vehicles for Hire in the City of St. John, enacted on the 30th day of July 2018, is hereby amended as follows. 1. Section 10(1)(I), paragraph III is repealed and replaced with the following. In 2010, and all subsequent years, 10 years or older, 10 years old or newer.
Okay.
And now another motion is required to approve by title. Third reading.
Okay, can I get a motion by title then, please? Councillor Lowe, Councillor Stewart, on the question, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you very much.
A bylaw to amend a bylaw respecting the regulation and licensing of owners and operators of vehicles for hire in the City of St. John.
Okay, next item, Common Clerk.
And the next item is item 10.6. Oh, I'm sorry, we've already done that one. So
Done that one.
now we're skipping over to the items that were coming out of Committee of the Whole. And so those items, the first one would be 17.1. And this is for a lease of ground floor space off St. Patrick Street to Rock Solid Ventures. And the resolution is that the City of St. John enter into a lease agreement with Rock Solid Ventures, generally in the form as presented to Committee of the Whole at its February 20th meeting, for a lease of 4.32 square meter portion of PID 39206 off St. Patrick Street, and further that mayor and city clerk be authorized to execute the said lease agreement.
Okay, Councillor Radwan, Councillor Hickey, on the motion, all those in favor? Opposed, if any? Motion's carried.
Next is item 17.2, and this is another item from Committee of the Whole with respect to conditional agreement of purchase of sale 26 to 28 Retail Drive, that the city enter into a purchase and sale agreement generally in the form as presented to Committee of the Whole at its meeting held on February 20th with Carl Ellenberg for the purchase of land and buildings located at 26 to 28 Retail Drive bearing PID 309005, and that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute the said agreement of purchase and sale and any other documents necessary to effect the transaction.
Okay, can I get a motion on that, please? Councillor Sullivan, Councillor Hickey? Okay, on the question, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you very much.
Okay, and next item is executive 17.3, which is strategy for divestment of 4 city-owned properties. And we had taken this in a 2-vote motion, so I presume that that's what council would want to do again, to vote on it in 2 separate motions.
Yeah, I would say.
So the first motion would be that the city declare the following 4 underutilized properties as surplus to its needs, and one of them was removed in one motion, so it would be A, 400 Lowell Street, B, 608 Millage Avenue, and D, 100 Boar's Head Road.
Okay, can I get a motion on that, please? Councillor Sullivan, seconded by Councillor Lowe. On the question, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, if any? Motion's carried unanimously. And the second motion?
And the second motion would be that the city declare the following 4 underutilized properties as surplus to its needs. So A, 400 Lowell Street, B, 608 Milledge Avenue, C, 1671 Sandy Point Road, and D, 100 Boar's Head Road.
Okay, Counselor Sullivan, you have your light on?
Just waiting for somebody to make a motion.
Oh, okay, all right. Counselor Lowe, you making the motion? Yeah? Okay, can I get a seconder? Counselor Hickey. Okay, on the question, go ahead. Counselor.
Thank you, Deputy. 1671 Sandy Point Road is the portion of land that the city owns on Harrigan Lake and Rockwood Park. While I appreciate it is zoned as parkland, I can't vote to say it's surplus. So I'm voting against the motion.
Okay, thank you, Counselor. Counselor Radwell?
Thank you. I just want to say it's actually the same reason why I'm voting against it as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Ogden?
Same vote.
Okay, thank you. All right, then on the question, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. On 1671. Were you out, Counselor? I didn't. Okay, so we're voting on the second motion for 1671 Sandy Point Road. So you're good with it? Okay, and all those against then? Okay, and 3 against, so that's carried. Thank you. Next item, commentary.
And the final item that came from Committee of the Whole is with respect to City Market new lease with Wild Carrot, and the resolution is that the city terminate the current lease with the Whale of a Cafe, DBA The Wild Carrot, under previous resolution from MNC 2020-2240 for stall D and ancillary spaces in the city market, with such termination to take effect only upon the completion of ongoing constructions in stalls E and F. 2, further be it resolved that the city enter into lease generally in the form as presented to Committee of the Whole at its meeting held February 20th, 2023, for stalls E and F and ancillary spaces to the city market with a Whale of a Cafe, DBA The Wild Carrot. And 3, further be it resolved that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute any necessary documents.
Okay, can I get a motion for 17.3? Counselor Sullivan and Counselor Stewart on the question. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, if any? Motion's carried. Next item, commentary.
And that was the final item.
So it's over to Counselor Law for adjournment. Okay, and a seconder? Thank you, Counselor Norton. All in favor? Okay, thank you, everybody. We'll see you back inside. Yeah.